confirm your consent. Rolinda, do I have your permission to record your session?
Yes, ma'am, you have my permission.
All right. So let's talk about the logistics of the session. You'll have around 15 minutes to run the scenario. At the end, I'll return to guide you in a reflection of your experience. If at any point you feel overwhelmed or you can't continue, say pause simulation, and I'll return to address any questions or concerns. And if there's any technical problems, you can just ask for me, Nina, and I will jump in and help. You can also reach me in the chat if we lose audio. Now, would you like to be doing this scenario on a low intensity or medium?
Let's go ahead and do low intensity.
All right, great. Any final questions for me?
No, ma'am.
All right, as soon as you see tail, the simulation will have begun. Good luck. And remember, this is a training, so it's a great opportunity to take risks and to stretch yourself.
Okay, thank you. Hi there, Mr. Teo. How are you doing?
Hi. I could be better. I wish I was better. I'm really, really concerned about Mina.
Oh no, tell me what's going on with Mina.
Well, I'm a little concerned that you don't already know, but my wife and I noticed some changes in her behaviors. She became really uh, much less enthusiastic about sharing about her day. She's quieter. And then the other day, she comes home and she's crying. And she showed me this picture that some student had drawn and put on her desk in class. It was like some drawing of her, I guess, and it said Meanie Queenie on it. And she's just really, I don't know. I don't know if you know who's bullying her, but I'm just really upset that this is something that's happening and it's affecting her really intensely.
I'm upset too. At the very beginning of the semester, I told my students I have zero tolerance for bullying. We had a very in-depth discussion about this, and so I'm so sorry that I have not picked up on this. Mina is always such an enthusiastic student in my class. She's one of our ambassadors, and she's just always like willing to participate in discussions. So she's one of our brightest students in our classroom, and I'm so sorry that I hadn't picked up on this. Did she tell you any names of the students that were giving her a hard time?
No, she didn't. And I don't know if they're like bullying her in person or I mean I don't know if she knows who they are. She's just really upset and she keeps telling me that she wants to go to a different school and we need to transfer her to a different school and I just that's I I don't want to do that but I also don't want her to feel like um she needs to do that. I know she has strong opinions. I know she's a school ambassador, but this this is elementary school. She shouldn't have to deal with this.
No, and it's not acceptable on any grade level. I mean, bullying is it's just not acceptable no matter how old you are, young or old. And so I am so sorry that your daughter is going through this and I want to do everything I can to make the situation better because we like I said we our school values your daughter. We love having your daughter and as a teacher, I love teaching your daughter. She's one of my favorite students even though I don't officially have favorite students, but if I did, your daughter is definitely someone that I cherish. I love teaching her. And so I definitely want to make her feel more comfortable. I have some ideas of how we could handle this, but is before I go into my ideas, is there any way that you specifically want me to handle this? Like I want to get your input first before I brainstorm.
I mean, I don't know. I just want Mina to feel safe again and happy to go to school.
Well, until I need to first I need to figure out who it is. And if she doesn't know who it is, then we need to address this as a class as a whole. Um, So in order for me to do this, I definitely don't want to make Mina feel any more uncomfortable than what she already is. But do you think that she would be comfortable with me addressing the issue to the class with her present, or would she prefer to not be present during it? I don't want her to feel called out, or if she wanted me to, I could make it where I don't specifically use her name.
I mean, yeah, I think that would be best. I feel like if you point out that it's about her, it's just going to make things worse.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Completely understand that. And so this is what I propose, and feel free to tell me how you feel about this. Um, I think I'm going to do just a general unit on bullying as a whole. I know a lot of times, especially, I mean, adults struggle with this too. A lot of times people slip into bullying and they don't necessarily know they're doing it. Sometimes I've known people who have come up with nicknames, and like the nicknames came out of good intentions. It's just, like, oh, we're just kidding. And they don't realize that they've crossed the line from kidding to bullying when it comes to how a person feels. Because, I mean, a person is entitled to feel how they feel. And if Mina is hurt by what they're calling her and what they're doing to her, then they've crossed that line. And it definitely needs to be addressed. So, how would you feel if I did a unit on bullying where we discuss what bullying looks like, the not just the obvious signs of bullying, but sometimes that, like, what I would call accidental bullying, where sometimes you just don't know the power of your words, and we do a unit on that. Maybe we have an activity where they uh, maybe we give them a situation that is a general situation that is going to kind of be, it's going to reflect Mina's situation, but like there's not going to be a specific name. It's just going to be what I would call a makeup situation, and how the person in this situation feels, how they have to carry that, and the effects of, like, once they leave the school, your words still stick with them, and doing the lesson over that. And if it continues, if Mina is still getting, like, she's got people calling her names or she's got people sending her things, then we definitely need to kind of figure out who it is that is saying these things. Does she have? And I'm very aware of of her classmates and how they are with each other. But does she have anyone in the class that is like someone she's super close with that might have an idea as to who these students are that are giving her a hard time?
I mean, I can ask her. She's kind of hesitant to talk about it, but I can ask if she knows who they are. I don't know if it would help if you talk to her. I know she has different relationships with her teachers and the parents. But I personally don't think that this is an accident. I mean, I feel like it feels like bullying. It doesn't seem like they thought it would be a fun joke. I think it's pretty intentional.
Okay, so then what we'll do is I'll switch gears then, because if this is very, like, it's malicious, then we definitely need to be more aggressive with our approach. And so I'll start off, I'll talk to Mina. I'll make sure to assure her that, like, just how valued she is in our classroom, and just to reassure her that she's got support and that we're not going to let this continue. I'll also talk with our guidance counselor and our principal. I want to get them in loop because, like you said, and she's talked to you about it, and I'm so sorry that I did not pick up on this. And so this definitely needs to be nipped in the bud. Anytime that it is ignored, a lot of times this continues, and I definitely don't want Mina to feel like she has to move because, again, like I said, we value her. So I'll get the principal in the loop. I'll get our guidance counselor in the loop. I'll talk with Mina, and I'll try and pinpoint who those specific students are. And in the meantime, I will make sure to closely monitor Mina. I'll look, see if there's anyone whispering, or if there's anyone specifically talking to her that way, or I'll try to make sure, I'll try to be aware of when a note is being slipped on her desk. And like I said, I'll have other people in our administration working on this too, to find out who it is that's doing this to your daughter, and to figure out how to best go about punishing them. Because, like I said, I have a zero tolerance for bullying, and my students know this. So for them to go ahead and do this maliciously, like I've already given them their warning. And so they will get the utmost punishment.
Okay. I mean, I appreciate that. I'm, personally just really overwhelmed about just with everything, and I really don't want this on top of everything because, you know, um, yeah. So I appreciate that. Um, and please keep me in the loop on how things are going.
I will, and feel free to reach back out to me if on how she's doing. Because that I control what's in the classroom, and again, I want to profusely apologize that this has happened in my classroom. I know when you send your daughter to our school, you send that with the assurance of knowing that we're here to protect them. And so I'm sorry that I have dropped the ball and I missed this, and it happened in my classroom. And so I'm going to do everything in my power to make Nina feel safe again in my classroom, and to like I said, just make sure this problem doesn't happen again. And so I'll talk to Mina, and feel free to reach back out to me if any of these problems keep happening. And if so, then we will talk about a different approach to this. But like I said, I'm going to rope in the administration and try and get some fillers on who it might be. I might try and talk to some individual students who maybe have observed something because they might know, and I'll make sure to do it casually because I do not want to add any more pressure to Mina or make her feel more singled out than what she already is. And so I just want you to know that her safety, like we're taking this very seriously.
Thank you. I appreciate hearing that.
Well, thank you for your time. Thank you for coming by. And like I said, just let me know if you need anything else.
I will. Thank you.
All right, welcome back. Thank you for having that conversation. Let's go ahead and reflect on the experience. So, how do you think Teo is feeling?
Like he said it over and over, he feels overwhelmed. I'm a control freak, so like the one thing about a situation like that is when you feel powerless, it's overwhelming. And the thing is when it comes to the classroom, like he's not there. They're like her parents can go above and beyond to make her feel loved and welcomed in her house, but when it comes to the classroom, that's supposed to be my job. And so I feel so bad for him because I know he feels so overwhelmed by it.
I understand. I appreciate that. And in relation to the outcome, which strategies or best practices did you use well?
Um, this is where I feel bad. This definitely helped me realize that I need to look more into the process of it because I know when it comes to discipline, you're supposed to like rope in the principal. So one strategy is I completely I acknowledged their feeling or acknowledged his feelings and I addressed them. I came up with a plan and I made sure that whatever my plan was that he felt comfortable implementing it. But as far as a specific direction on how to take this, I feel like I wasn't very knowledgeable about it. Like, I mean, I knew enough to rope in a guidance counselor and to rope in a principal to take care of the discipline and then the emotional side of it. But other than that, I didn't especially since he didn't have names. Like, if they knew names of students, then I would have known exactly how to handle it. But because there was no names, then it's kind of a mystery as to okay, well then who do we discipline? And so I feel like I need to learn more about that.
I understand. Thank you for sharing that. It can definitely be very tough. In terms of things I observed that you did well, I really appreciated that you were very empathetic. You described how you would address the situation. You checked in with the parent frequently and showed a lot of appreciation and understanding for their child. So that was all well done. And you touched on this a bit right now, but if you had a chance to do this again, is there anything else you would like to improve upon?
Definitely, I would like to improve on what the specific process is with something like this. Like I said, I felt like I was prepared for a bullying situation with the students, like knowing who the students are in mind. You know, I've had, even as a student teacher, I've seen it happen. And So like I already had a plan in my mind. Okay, well, this is what I'm going to do when I see a student bullying another, or when I find out about a student bullying another. But I never thought about how to prepare for it when I don't know who the other students are. And so definitely like looking more into that. And then also the one thing I never considered was like I knew like when it comes to bullying, there's got to be support for the victim, and there's also still got to be support for the person doing the bullying, because a lot of times, I mean, children don't just go around hurting other children. There's always something behind it. So like I knew how to support both parties, but I never thought about the parents needing kind of support, because it's also kind of traumatic to know that, I mean, your kid is so hurt by this that they're wanting to leave school, and it can be traumatic just as a parent. And so I feel like I also need to look into different support for parents of people who are being bullied, or even parents of like their kids are the ones doing the bullying.
Mhm. I can appreciate that. Thank you so much for sharing. And what's something you're taking away from this experience that you'll use in real life?
Definitely be careful with the wording. As soon as I said accidental bullying, I knew how that sounded, and I knew what I meant. But when you've got a parent who is, I mean, their child's the one being bullied, and you throw around the term accidental bullying, like, I just, as if I were a parent, I'd be like, excuse me, that's not accidental. And so definitely being more selective with my terminology, and then also trying not to be blindsided. Like, I don't want the parent to feel like I don't know what I'm doing, or that I don't know where I'm going to go. I want them to feel like, while they're overwhelmed, I can be the level headed one that knows like what the plan of action is. Because obviously, if they had a plan of action, they wouldn't necessarily be talking to me in the sense where asking me like what we should do. And so definitely that would be my takeaway.
Mhm. Thank you so much for sharing. I can really appreciate that. And definitely, I think whether accidental or not, that's not what a parent wants to hear. So I completely understand that. And thank you so much for participating today. You'll be able to access your video by returning to the Mursion portal where you scheduled today's session. Otherwise, you're all set, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.